What? The sword? I guess. Windfish? What are you What? Hold on. Wait, come back!
The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. No other video game in the series breaks off from the formula like it does, and it's my favorite game of all time.
No Ganons, no Ganondorfs, no Navis, no Zelda. What's this? Link's Awakening. The Windfish. I feel like I should be talking about this game. I don't know what it is, but something is drawing me to it. I haven't played Link's Awakening in easily over 8 or 9 years. Like, seriously sat down and played through it. It's finally time for me to talk about a Zelda game. The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening. Being one of Nintendo's biggest IPs, there is an obvious amount of love and care put into the series. Every puzzle is meaningful, every character has purpose, every upgrade makes us, the players, feel like we're progressing through a grand adventure. I wonder if Nintendo knew how much of an impact the Legend of Zelda series was going to have on the video game industry. I know how much of an impact it had on my life as a gamer. In 1986, the world was graced with The Legend of Zelda for the Famicom Disk System, to reviews of praise, all the while setting the bar for what a great adventure game should be. The games in the series usually revolve around Link and his quest to defeat Ganon and rescue Princess Zelda. And for its time, Link's Awakening wasn't that much of a leap. But for all the Zelda games that we have today, Link's Awakening and Majora's Mask really stand out. And I'm not counting spin-offs like Hyrule Warriors or Triforce Heroes. Yeah, I think I knew that for some reason. Our opening scene shows Link on a boat struggling against a raging storm, where he is then struck by lightning and washes ashore onto a beach. A young girl finds Link washed ashore and attempts to wake him up. A beach? An island? A tropical setting? This is my kind of game. We then arrive at the house of our rescuer, who Link mistakes for Zelda. And this is our only mention of Zelda throughout the whole game. Yes!
Our rescuer introduces herself as Marin. She then tells us that we're on Koholint Island. She lets us know that after our arrival on the beach, monsters started to show up. We can then talk to the man in the room who gives us our shield. His name is Taran.
Well, now that we've got one of two of the necessary adventuring gear, let's head down to the beach like Marin told us to. During this sequence, we get a little taste of what the soundtrack is going to be like. The chiptune music really adds to that quaint and homely feeling of the island. From dank caves to calm rivers, from mysterious forests to peaceful prairies. This music is some of the best in the series.
We then arrive at the shores of our arrival and see our sword, but before we can acquire it...
Seriously? This is what you're copying? Link's Awakening. You're getting your whole ideas from Link's Awakening. Yeah, I know, it says it right here. Look. What sword?
Anyway, after messing around with the sword for a bit and exploring some of Mabe village, we find Marin singing out by the flying rooster statue. She tells us Taran went out to the forest to find mushrooms. But before we do that, let's head to the trendy game to try and obtain our first item in a long series of trading.
Okay, thanks. I don't know what Yoshi's doing in my Zelda game, but with this we can start the famous trading sequence. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, of course. I will need this. Oh, wow! Yes! Such a good trade! Jeez. Give me a warning next time you do that.
Yeah, the owl says to get the key from the forest, go to the tail cave with it. Got it. There's apparently a raccoon here though that won't let us pass, so we'll need to get by somehow.
And how, do you ask, do we do that? Mushrooms.
Okay, so to be more precise, it's actually a bag of magic power made from the toadstool by a witch that you sprinkle on the raccoon.
Couldn't make that up.
We got the tail key and...
Gosh dang it!
On our way back to Tarambo Shores, we stop by Sale's House of Bananas, where we can continue our trading sequence. We've reached Tail Cave, and we must now make our through to the first of 8 instruments needed to...
Is he gone? Needed to...
Within each dungeon, a boss monster guards the 8 instruments of the sirens. Also within the dungeons are these real neat side-scrolling sequences where you feel like you're playing a Mario game.
Wait. Are those Goombas? So we have Goombas and Yoshis in the Zelda game.
We also obtain a key item for our adventures throughout the island. The one here in Tail Cave is the Roc's Feather, which allows Link to jump. Moldorm is the boss in the level, and it's actually kind of hard. If you're not careful, he can knock you off the platform and down into the side-scrolling area, where you have to work your way back up again. So we got the Full Moon Cello, and now it's off to the swamp.
But before we head to the swamp, we need to rescue the Chain Chomp because he's the only one that can clear the path to our second dungeon, the Bottle Grotto.
Once we rescue the Chain Chomp, we can then make our way to the swamp. In this dungeon, we obtain the Power Bracelet, which allows us to lift objects such as boulders, greatly opening up the rest of the island for us to explore. We then confront Genie. He's only able to be damaged once his bottle is destroyed.
At this point, I've already collected 3 pieces of heart, so let's go fill our container with 2 more.
At the cemetery, we find that one of the tombstones hides a secret, our 4th piece of a heart completing the first heart container. Back at Mabe Village, we can also talk to the fisherman and try to win us another heart container.
I got it. On the way, we encounter secret seashells throughout the island, and if we can collect enough of them, we'll be rewarded with something good.
After all that, we need to somehow get to the 3rd dungeon, located in Ukuku Prairie. So in order for us to find the key, we need to pass through the pothole field. A swordman by the name of Richard asks Link to retrieve golden leaves from his castle, where his servants rebelled against him. Once we return the golden leaves, he'll then give us the slime key. But we find that the gates to his castle are locked, so we need to somehow get across.
Oh, thanks. Prince Richard actually starred in his own game. The Japan only Kaeru no Tame ni Kane wa Noru, or For the Frog the Bell Tolls. In fact, the song we listen to in his villa is his own game's main theme.
We can finally make it to the third dungeon, Key Cavern. Here we obtain the Pegasus boots, which allow Link to run faster and deal double damage if the sword is equipped at the same time. We confront Slime Eyes and obtain the third instrument of the siren, the Sea Lily's Bell.
And now we can head for the waterfall. We're going to the desert. But before we do that, we can help out our buddy Terran to continue the trading sequence.
We can also find heart piece number 7 in a cave west of here, and another secret seashell.
Back at Mabe Village, if we recall, there was a strange building blocked off by a couple boulders. It's called the Dream Shrine. Let's go check it out. Now that we've got the ocarina, maybe Marin can teach us a song. At the eastern side of the island, we encountered the animal village, where in order for us to get to the desert, we have to wake a sleeping walrus. But first, more trading. Apparently the walrus will only wake up if Marin sings a song for him. We're back to Mabe Village.
Now by this point you've already come across the photographer. If not, you should go see him because he will take some really moving photos soon. As we return to Mabe, Marin is nowhere to be found, so we head to the beach to witness one of the most moving moments in Zelda history. We can also go to this little outlet where the photographer will take some candid shots. After hanging out with Marin, we can take her back to the animal village so she can wake up the walrus.
Now that we can pass, we can finally enter the desert where we'll encounter Land Mola.
We collect the Angler Key, and now head to Angler's Tunnel.
Exclusive to the DX version, Nintendo put in an extra dungeon for the Game Boy Color called the Color Dungeon.
In it, we confront a number of colored-based puzzles in order to reach our goal of either a stronger piece of armor or a stronger sword.
I usually get the stronger armor since by now you should have enough seashells to do something special with the sword. Making our way to the northernmost part of Koholint, we encounter the father of the triplets back at Mabe. He wants to do more trading.
Here in Angler's Cave, we have our chance to collect the fourth instrument of the siren.
We also collect the flippers here, which let us swim in deeper waters.
The anglerfish is probably the easiest boss in the game. You just hit him a couple times, which stuns him, and you continue the process.